Let us see the details of arrhythmia. Now, the word arrhythmia is from arrhythmia. There is a specific rhythm in heart. According to that rhythm, contractions of the heart will take place. When you see the heart, see the heart structure is like this. Now, on the right side, you have SA node is there. SA node is known as pacemaker cells in the heart. The initial signal starts from SA node. So when SA node gives that signal, it travels to the entire atria. So the entire atria will undergo contraction. Now at this junction, you have again in atria, you have AV node is the atrioventricular. Once the signal reaches here, from here AV node starts giving signal, which will transfer to this entire heart region. So the signal will propagate till the apex of the heart, at the base of the heart. So what happens is signal initiation occurs. That means signal starts at SA node. It is called as signal initiation. It is start of the signal. And then signal propagation occurs. Propagation means movement along the heart chambers. SA node signal propagation occurs to the entire atria. AV node signal propagates to entire ventricle. And finally, signal has to terminate. It is called termination. Once the signal reaches at this base, the signal terminates. So what happens is there is a concerted contractions in the heart. Imagine this hand is atria, this one is ventricle. When atria contracts, ventricle dilates. When ventricle contracts, atria dilates. This is what is the proper rhythm of the heart. It is coordinated. When atria is contracting, ventricle is relaxing. Ventricle is contracting, atria is dilating. This is how it happens. Now, any difference in this rhythm, any error in this rhythm, that is called arrhythmia. So arrhythmia means error in rhythm. Now, why that error occurs? If any change occurs to this process, signal initiation, signal propagation, signal termination, if any electrical differences occurs, then it results in error in rhythm. That is what is called as arrhythmia. Now, arrhythmia, remember this, when we are in excited state, heart rate increases. When we are in relaxed state, heart rate is decreased. These are called as sinus rhythms. Sinus rhythms means depending upon the requirement, heart rate is increased or decreased. They cannot be considered as diseased form. Imagine this thing. What we say with hypertension, the normal blood pressure is 120 by 80, right? Anything equal to or more than 140 by 90 is considered as hypertension. When we have tension, when we have anxiety, heart rate increases because of that blood pressure increases. That doesn't mean we have hypertension. No, hypertension means when you are at rest, then also the pressure values should be more than or equal to 140 by 90. When you are performing something, when you are doing some athletic work, when you are dancing, when physical workload is increased, blood pressure increases. That doesn't mean you have hypertension. Similarly, diabetes mellitus also, what we say is when the blood levels of glucose are between 90 to 120 milligrams per deciliter of glucose, it is normal values. Anything above than 120 we consider it as a kind of diabetes. It is not hard and fast rule. When you take too much of carbohydrate food, that increases the levels of glucose in the blood. So in the blood, glucose levels may shoots up more than 120. That doesn't mean someone has got diabetes mellitus. No, everything has to be checked. Similarly, in arrhythmia, there are two different conditions. The normal heart rate is 70 beats per minute. Anything less than 60 beats per minute is known as bradyarrhythmia. Brady means slow. Anything more than 100 beats per minute is known as tachyarrhythmia. So two kinds are there. Brady and tachy. Bradyarrhythmia, tachyarrhythmia. Bradyarrhythmia means anything less than 60 beats per minute. 60 beats per minute is considered as bradyarrhythmia. Whereas tachyarrhythmia, anything more than 100 beats per minute is considered as tachyarrhythmia. Again, sustained beats per minute will be considered as arrhythmia. That means if someone is doing some physical activity, heart rate increases. Then it would be more than 100 beats per minute. That cannot be considered as arrhythmia. When people are at rest, even in rest, If the beats are more than 100, then it is considered as tachyarrhythmia. Similarly, bradyarrhythmia, when you are at rest, usually the heart rate falls down. During nights, the heart rate falls down to 65 or 60. That could not be considered as bradyarrhythmia, right? Sustained period, while activity also, if it is less than 60, then it is considered as bradyarrhythmia. Now, coming to the classification of arrhythmia, we have two different types of arrhythmia. Is there? The error in rhythm could occur in atria or it could occur in ventricle. If it is occurring in atria, it is called as supraventricular arrhythmia. Supra means above. Supraventricular. What is above ventricle? This is ventricle. What is above the ventricle? It is atria. So atrial arrhythmia is considered as supraventricular arrhythmia, whereas ventricular arrhythmia is considered as ventricular arrhythmia. Same thing. Two things are there: supraventricular arrhythmia, atrial arrhythmia. Let us see what are the types you have there. Supraventricular. In other words, it is nothing but atrial arrhythmia. Now, here, certain conditions are there, like atrial flutter, atrial fibrillation, and then paroxysmal supraventricular arrhythmia. Simply, it is known as PSVX, paroxysmal supraventricular tachyarrhythmia arrhythmia. Now, let us see what all these stands for. One more is there, which is related to supraventricular, that is Wolff-Parkinson-White. Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Let us see about all these things in brief. Now, see, atrial flutter and fibrillation. Atria contracts and then ventricle contracts, right? The normal contraction rate is this way. Now, flutter means when atria is continuously contracting like this. This is called, in English, it is called as fluttering. Like when butterfly wings moves, that is called fluttering. So when atria is continuously contracting, that is called atrial flutter. Second one, fibrillation. See, muscle are contracting individually. This is called as fibrillation. See, normally atria has to contract like this. All the muscle fibers should contract together. If individual fibers are contracting like this, then it is called as fibrillation. Both of them affects atria. Paroxysmal supraventricular tachyarrhythmia. Again, see, supraventricular tachyarrhythmia is the atrial heart rate is increased. That is what is supraventricular arrhythmia. Paroxysm means periodic. It is not constantly tachyarrhythmia. Sometimes it will be tachyarrhythmia and then normalize, and then it increases. So periodically it occurs, hence it is known as paroxysm. The last one, Wolff-Parkinson-White. Wolff-Parkinson-White, sometimes it occurs as genetic basis too. What happens in this condition is, see, whatever the signal is coming from SCA node, it goes to AV node. In Wolff-Parkinson-White, there is another circle between here. So between SCA node and AV node, one more signal generation occurs. So because of that, the atrial rate. Normally, what happens from SCA node to the signal goes to the entire atria and then it reaches AV node. In Wolff-Parkinson-White, there is another circuit of signal generation between these two, like this, and that causes extra beats. That is called Wolff-Parkinson. So these are all the widely known arrhythmias which occurs to atria. Similarly, you have ventricular arrhythmias are also there. In case of ventricular arrhythmia, you have same things are there. Ventricular flutter, ventricular fibrillation, and then torsidas pointus. Now, understand the differences. See, if arrhythmia occurs to atria, it would not lead to a bigger problems because atrial efficiency or atrial function related to cardiac function is limited. Even though there is a problem in atria, ventricle can take care of it because ventricles has got large muscle mass. From ventricle, cardiac ejection occurs. So what is the job of atria? To send the blood to ventricle. From the ventricle, the blood will be sent to lungs and body parts. So anything occurs to ventricle, that could be a serious condition. So ventricular arrhythmia need to be considered serious. In ventricular arrhythmias, again, you have similar things, flutter and fibrillation. When ventricle continue to contract like this is called fluttering. Like butterfly wings movement, it is called fluttering. Fibrillation, this is even more dangerous because ventricle has got bigger muscle mass, lot of muscle fibers will be there. So when all the muscle fibers are contracting together, you have a coordinated contraction. If individual muscle fibers are contracting like this is called fibrillation, uncoordinated contraction. That is what is ventricular fibrillation. Now, torsitis pointus is a French word. Torsitis pointus means twisting peaks. This is related to ECG. What do you see in normal ECG? You have a E wave and then Q, R, S wave and then a T wave is there. This is what is normal ECGs. You have P, you have QRS complex and then T is there. The reason why this particular arrhythmia is known as torsitis pointus is there is a twisted peak is there. When you see that ECG, there will be different kinds of peaks will be like this. Twisting of peaks is there. This is complete uncoordinated contractions. Because of that, it is known as torsitis pointus, which is a serious condition because the blood ejection will be incoordinate. So briefly, these are all the types of arrhythmias. See, I have explained the major types of arrhythmias. There are so many types out there, but most of the people will get affected with these things. You need to understand the difference between flutter and fibrillation. Fluttering means continuous contractions. Right? Fibrillation means individual fibers when they are moving like this. It is called fibrillation. In case of ventricle, you have paroxysmal supraventricular tachyarrhythmia. It occurs in episodes. Like initially, ventricles will undergo tachyarrhythmia. It stops, normalizes, and then again it goes to tachyarrhythmia, stops. So periodic occurrence of tachyarrhythmia is known as paroxysmal supraventricular. Wolff-Parkinson, there is an extra signal generation occurs between SCA node and AV node that results in extra beats. Extra beats will result in tachyarrhythmia. In case of ventricles, again, you have ventricular flutter is there, ventricular fibrillation is there. Torsitis pointus is a French word that means twisting of peaks. You know, this ECG peaks will get twisted. Now, by the way, when you see the ECG, the P wave indicates atrial systole. QRS complex indicates ventricular systole. The T wave indicates ventricular diastole. Now see, when you see a cardiac cycle, atria undergoes systole and ventricle will be in the diastole. And then ventricle goes systole, atria will be going for diastole. So these, the electric ionic differences will come out as peaks. That is what is our ECGs. P, atrial systole. QRS, ventricular systole. T, ventricular diastole. See, atrial diastole will also be there. It is behind this QRS big waves. It is a small wave which is camouflaged by this QRS waves. So this is about ECG. Now, how are we going to correct it?